All right, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone today to our meeting. I'm President Garcia Morales, and I call this special meeting of February 27th, 2023 to order. The time is 5:02 p.m. I'd like to remind everybody to please silence their cell phones and electronic devices. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land at which we gather is territorial homelands of the Nuwu, the Muwapa Band of Paiutes, and the Las Vegas Band of Paiutes. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Trustee Brooks. Trustee Brooks. Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Trustee Williams will make a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam President, members of the board, I'd like to make the motion to the adopt agenda as presented.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Cavazos.
Thank you, Madam President. I will second Trustee Williams' motion.
Thank you, colleagues. We have a motion by Trustee Williams and a second by Trustee Cavazos. Trustees, please cast your vote. That motion passes 6-0. All right, moving on to item 2.01. I'd like to take a moment to welcome the members of the AZAC committee. Thank you so much for your work, for your leadership, and for your commitment to our school district. I'd like to acknowledge that they are in the audience with us today. Thank you. Okay. We're going to move on to item 2.01, the school zoning for the 2023-24 school year from Robert and Sandy Ellis Elementary School to Shirley and Bill Wallen Elementary School. Turn it over to Ms. Murphy. Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. This focus area is due to the increasing number of Robert and Sandy Ellis Elementary School students and current growth in the area by the Inspirada and West Henderson Master Plan communities. Because of this, it is necessary to provide enrollment relief to Robert and Sandy Ellis Elementary School. Shirley and Bill Wallen Elementary School has seats available to provide enrollment relief to surrounding schools. Currently, Ellis Elementary School is at 117.07% of capacity, and Wallen Elementary School is at a capacity of 72.30 students. AZAC's recommendation is to reassign students in grades K through 5. This would be 184 students living in the area described from Robert and Sandy Ellis Elementary School to Shirley and Bill Wallen Elementary School.
Thank you, Ms. Ellis. Ms. Murphy, gave you a new last name. Nothing has changed since the last time I introduced you. Thank you, Tracy. Forgive me, I did not, before I opened the item, I failed to ask for public speaker cards. I will allow anyone who has an interest in speaking on this item to please submit their yellow cards. From my record, I don't see any yellow cards that have been submitted in advance or anyone who signed up in advance. So, trustees, this is the time for discussion or for a motion. Trustee Guzman.
Thank you, President Garcia Morales. I just want to ask a couple of questions since this is in my zone. So the fourth grade will not be grandfathered in, is that correct?
President Garcia Morales, trustees, Trustee Guzman, AZAC's recommendation was to rezone students in K through 5, which would include rezoning the 4th grade. And there was not an AZAC recommendation to grandfather 4th grade students to remain at Ellis.
And the reason for that is transportation, correct?
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Guzman, this is not a standard practice to grandfather 4th grade students into 5th grade as a practice of AZAC in the past.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman. Trustee Williams?
Madam President, at this time, I was just going to make a motion to approve item 2.01. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Yes, you're correct, 2.01. Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Guzman?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman. Colleagues, we have a motion by Trustee Williams and a second by Trustee Guzman. Please cast your vote.
You know what, before we take that vote, can I go on the
Yes.
record really quick, President? I just want to make it, I'm going to make a disclosure before each vote that there's no conflict of interest, but I do want to just note for the record that Trustee Brenda Zamora has a non-familial relationship with an AZAC committee member, Rudy Zamora, who is present in the audience. They've already discussed the issue with me. I just don't want there to be any appearance that we aren't being transparent. They do have a relationship. They are not related by blood. There is no, I've looked into it. There is no conflict, but I think it should be disclosed for the record just in case anyone has an issue.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to make that a blanket. I don't want to go on and do that each time. So let me just make that a blanket disclosure.
Appreciate that and appreciate the transparency. Thank you, everyone. Okay, with that in mind, please cast your vote. All right, colleagues, that motion passes 7-0. Ms. Murphy, take us away to item, before you take us away to item 2.02, I'd like to ask if anyone has not had a chance to complete a public speaker card. Now is the time to do so. With that in mind, I'm going to move on to item 2.02.
Thank you, President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. This area are students residing south of Wigwam Parkway, west of Stephanie Street, north of the I-215, and east of Green Valley Parkway. These students were previously offered a board-approved option to attend Green Valley High School without transportation. This option was eliminated with the change of school assignment. Students previously enrolled with this option were grandfathered to remain at Green Valley High School for the duration of their high school career. Students not previously enrolled with this option are assigned to Coronado High School. These students must travel south of I-215 approximately 5.7 miles to Coronado High School. Green Valley High School is less than 3 miles from this area, potentially providing a safer route to school. It is necessary to provide enrollment relief to Coronado High School. Green Valley High School has seats available to provide enrollment relief to surrounding schools while creating feeder school alignment in this area. AZAC recommended to allow grandfathering of 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students currently enrolled within the reassigned area with transportation and to reassign 9th grade students each year and newly enrolled students in the area, consisting of 277 students, from Coronado High School to Green Valley High School, beginning with grade 9.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. I appreciate it. We don't have any public comment on this item. No one has signed up in advance. Colleagues, this is a time to discuss or make motions. Trustee Guzman?
Thank you, President Garcia Morales. We've received quite a few emails from a parent about an 8th grade student being with their sibling at Coronado High School. I'm sure you're aware. And so I would really appreciate it if you would explain why that 8th grade student needs to go to Green Valley, please.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Guzman, Superintendent Jara. In this situation, we did hear from a parent, and her goal was to keep both students together at Coronado High School once her 8th grader goes into 9th grade next year. This is a precedent, once again, to reassign students from 8th grade into 9th grade. Additionally, with this situation, she did want to keep her students together, but there are other options which may be available for them to attend in another school together.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman. Trustee Cavazos?
Thank you, President Garcia Morales. Trustee Guzman asked part of the question that I was going to ask. This is her school and my school. So since the question is answered at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item 2.02.
Thank you, Trustee Cavazos. Trustee Guzman?
I'll second.
Very good. Colleagues, we have a motion on the floor. Seems like there is. Can we have the mic turned on? There we
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry, it's different. I'm the chair of the AZAC committee. I do have a point of, or I think it's called a question. One of my AZAC District A rep who handled this issue does have a question she needs to ask. If we have permission, Madam
Yes.
Chair?
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you,
So I
ma'am.
yield to Ms. Binder, who's the District A rep.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Jara, our amazing PZG team. I don't think it's necessarily a question, but through the process this past school year and coming to the agenda tonight, I just want you all to know that I did heavily encourage the district to work with potentially the COSA department, because the COSA department has nothing to do with us. And so on the very few parents in the community that have comparable issues to what Trustee Guzman just pointed out, we did very much encourage a bridge or a relationship with COSA when it came to siblings. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Binder. Trustee Guzman, excuse me, Trustee Cavazos, did you have? No, thank you. All right, colleagues, we have a motion on the floor by Trustee Cavazos, a second by Trustee Guzman. Please cast your vote. Thank you, colleagues. That motion passes 7-0. Before I open item 2.03, I'd like to ask anyone in the audience who hasn't had a moment to complete their public speaker card. If not, this is the time to do so. You can turn it into Denise here up front. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. All right, we're going to move on. Ms. Murphy.
President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. For this focus area, there are residential developments under construction north of Kyle Canyon Road, west of US 95, and south of Moccasin Road. These new homes are assigned to Indian Springs Elementary School, which is approximately 25 miles north. This recommendation would utilize available capacity at James H. Bilbray and William and Mary Schirkenbach Elementary Schools. The capacity at Bilbray currently is 91.69%, Schirkenbach 74.43%, and Indian Springs is at 132.38%. And Bilbray and Schirkenbach Elementary Schools are closer to the urban schools as opposed to Indian Springs, 25 miles north. AZAC's recommendation is to reassign students in grades K through 5 living in the area as described from Indian Springs Elementary School to James H. Bilbray and William and Mary Schirkenbach Elementary Schools. This consists of 6 geographic students, 3 students which are currently enrolled at Indian Springs Elementary School.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Colleagues, we do have public comment on this item. Please, if this is a moment to discuss or to ask any questions, this is a good time to do that before we move on to public comment. If there is no discussion, then we can go straight to public comment. Okay. All right. I'd like to hear from Ms. Misha Ray. Come on up. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening. Misha Ray, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of home builders KB Homes and TriPoint. We have several projects coming in north of Kyle Canyon We engaged in this process at the AZAC level as well, so I appreciate everybody's time there. We're just here to reiterate our support for the rezoning for future home buyers who are coming into that area to be able to be in a more urban and closer, geographically closer location as opposed to Indian Springs. So we're here to reiterate our support and thank you for your vote.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. Colleagues, this is the time to, if there's no additional discussion, I'm looking for a motion. Trustee Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 2.03.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Cavazos?
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to second Trustee Williams' motion.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Trustees, we have a motion by Trustee Williams. Allow me 1 second. Let's take a quick pause. Trustee Williams, I'm going to come back to you. There are two recommendations for item 2.03? No, forgive me. Okay. Just kidding. I'm confused, and I appreciate your patience. Okay. Item 2.03, we have colleagues, we have a motion by Trustee Williams and a second by Trustee Cavazos. Colleagues, please cast your vote. Thank you, colleagues. That motion passes 7-0. Okay. Moving on to item 2.04. Before we continue on this item, if anyone who would like to speak on this item has not had a chance to complete their yellow public speaker card, this is the time to do so now. Currently do not have any public speakers for this particular item. Ms. Murphy? Oh, forgive me, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. You're welcome to provide comment at the end we will give you a chance. Okay, perfect. Well, no, it's not. But we hear you, and we're happy to make that change to your public card. Okay, 2.04. Allow me 1 moment. Let's open up the item, and then we'll call you up. Thank you. All right. Item 2.04. Ms. Murphy, please take it away.
President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. This area is the same area that 2.03 was reviewing, the area north of Kyle Canyon Road, west of US 95, and south of Moccasin, with the new homes assigned to Indian Springs Middle School, 25 miles north. And this recommendation from AZAC would utilize available capacity at Edmundo Eddie Escobedo Senior Middle School. Escobedo Middle School currently has a capacity of 54.92% and has the seats available. AZAC's recommendation is to allow grandfathering of 5th, 6th, and 7th grade students currently enrolled within the reassigned area as described, with transportation included as long as there are empty seats on the bus from Mount Charleston to Indian Springs, from Indian Springs Middle School to Edmundo Eddie Escobedo Senior Middle School. And this is 3 students in the area currently, 1 currently at Indian Springs Middle School.
Ms. Murphy. Colleagues, this is a time to ask questions. We can move into public comment. I see Trustee Brooks is in the queue. We'll start with discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. So I just have a question about the recommendation for, I've never seen this type of recommendation come through where the committee has recommended optional transportation if it's available. I don't know if a member of the committee would like to come and explain the reasoning behind it. Yeah.
Let me get Mr. Matthew. There we go. You're on.
Matthew Tramp, AZAC Chairman. I will yield the speaking time to a District B rep who handled the groundwork for this, if they'd like to speak.
Madam President, Board of Trustees, my name is Nick Fede. This is Lydia Dominguez. We studied this distinctively. This is a very unique area in that it is more rural, less urban. So the reason that we put that forward is because the transportation from Mount Charleston to Indian Springs will occur anyway. They drive the same route. And then so there's no additional impact, no additional cost, and there's plenty of seats on the bus available today. So that's why we offered that grandfathering to allow that.
Thank you for the clarification. I guess my concern is the language of if it's available, since the district is legally required to transport kids.
Correct. So from our understanding, or at least the AZAC's understanding, is that generally speaking, when you do a grandfathering, you do not allow transportation. It's generally not included. So we wanted to make it as optional as long as that bus route exists and the seats are available.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And then from the district, when we grandfather in, we do normally do transportation or provide clarity from what is the traditional practice for AZAC? Sorry for so many questions. I've never seen it like this.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Brooks. So we received a point of clarification that grandfathering includes transportation for the very reason that if students are rezoned, that they would be provided transportation according to the Transportation Department.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank
I
you, guys.
appreciate it.
If I can add something, I just want to say that we wanted to be good stewards of taxpayer money, and so that's why we left it optional. We didn't want to force the district to bring another bus if there were no kids that were in Mount Charleston utilizing that bus route. So we wanted to leave it optional. If there were kids that were in that Kyle Canyon Road, that far road out there, then they could utilize that option. So.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it.
Sorry, Lydia Ruiz.
Say it one more time.
Lydia Ruiz.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Nick.
Appreciate it.
Colleagues, if there is no further discussion, I'd like to hear from public comment. Let's do. Okay. We're going to hear from Alex. Is Alex McGurk?
Yes. Hi. Good evening. I have attended all the AZAC meetings. The reason this applies to 2.03 and 2.04 is because it doesn't actually even affect me. But when I sat in the AZAC meetings, it didn't make sense to me. And no one really was here to take defense to the rural community. So up in that really far corner of that's being zoned out of Indian Springs, there are people that live in a rural community that live up there, most of them because they wanted their children to go to Indian Springs. They like that environment. They don't want their kids to go to the city schools. They want their kids to go up there. A lot of these kids are getting grandfathered in with exceptions, but what's kind of getting missed is they're getting grandfathered in at certain levels, elementary school, middle school, high school. But what happens is the second grader that's not getting grandfathered in for middle school. So yes, she's grandfathered in all through elementary school, but now when she gets to middle school, she's not grandfathered in anymore. So now she would be going to a city middle school. Same with some of the, it's mainly affecting the elementary schools. So my question is, since it is such a small portion of people that live up there and have moved there for that purpose, why can't everybody just be grandfathered in that portion? I'm not saying that all of the people down, there's like a certain portion, if you look at the map, you can see it, there's certain lines. I feel like if kids are already at an Indian Springs school, they want to be there. They want to be there for elementary school. They want to be there for middle school. They want to be there for high school if they're already currently there. So my question is, why can't, if a kindergartner is already at Indian Springs, can't she be grandfathered in for the rest of her school year instead of spending 5 years at Indian Springs and then now moving to a city school when her family lives in a rural community? I just kind of taken it up as I don't think that it makes sense. 100% it makes sense for people that are buying in new developments. You're buying a KB home, you want to be at a city school. You don't want to be at Indian Springs. If you're buying in Providence or Sky Canyon, you want to be at city schools. I think for those people, a lot of them that bought there, I'm not saying people that buy in the future, I'm saying that people that currently live there and bought there and want to send their kids to Indian Springs, I think that there should be an exception for that community. There was a dad here that was at a couple meetings ago. He's not here anymore, but he wants his kids to go there. And they will eventually be zoned out. Yes, they're grandfathered in right now, but eventually they will not be grandfathered in anymore and have to move. So I just thought that that should be brought up to you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Alex. Colleagues, this is a time to ask questions, or I'm seeking a motion. Trustee Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to approve item 2.04. And with the statement that I trust the AZAC committee, I trust our staff members that they've done the best job that they can. I know at least my appointees for sure, because I talk to them a lot, and they go through, and I don't mean that in a bad way, right? I love you guys, but they go through these numbers, all the time, and I trust their judgment. And while I understand some people may be upset because their student may be displaced or whatever, I know that the district has done a really good job at providing those options. And I know that we have a lot of really good people in the district who are there to help individual students with individual problems. So with that, I'd just like to make the motion to approve item 2.04.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Brooks?
Thank you, Madam President. To clarify, are you talking about approving the staff recommendation for item 2.04?
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Thank you. I will second that.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. We have a motion on the floor by Trustee Williams, a second by Trustee Brooks to approve the recommendation from the AZAC staff. Will you please have a vote? Cast your vote. Colleagues, that motion passes 7-0. All right. Moving on to item 2.05. Before we continue on to 2.05, we want to make sure that anyone who would like to speak on this item submits their yellow card before we continue and move on. Ms. Murphy, please take it away.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Superintendent Jara, 2.05 was, for clarification, was the staff recommendation on Edmundo Eddie Escobedo Sr. and Indian Springs Middle School.
Trustee Brooks?
Sorry. Can you clarify that those two items should be separate? And then if so, we need to probably go back to revisit the last one.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Brooks, yes, item 2.05 was the staff recommendation, and it was slightly different from 2.04.
Okay. So I believe Trustee Williams' intent was to not approve 2.04 since she said she was approving the staff recommendation. I'll have the board attorney.
I think we just need to go back and do that again for added clarity.
All right.
Consider. Oh, yeah. Let's do a motion.
Okay, Trustee Williams, lead the way.
Madam President, members of the board, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the vote on item 2.04.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Brooks?
I will second that motion.
Okay. Colleagues, we have a motion on the floor to reconsider item 2.04. Please, let's get a vote going here. Please cast your vote. Colleagues, that motion passes 7-0. Trustee Williams, are you planning to make a motion on 2.04? No. Okay. All right, I don't see a motion for 2.04, so we are going to move on to item 2.05, and I believe Trustee Williams would like to make a motion for 2.05. We do not have public comment on 2.05. I believe our colleagues, is there Matthew, do you have a the mics?
Madam Chair, wish that my fellow AZAC member can please speak with your permission.
Hi, Lydia Ruiz. I am just trying to clarify. So I see the difference between 2.04 and 2.05. It seems like they're removing the 5th grade portion of that. And I just wanted to clarify the family that we spoke to, and not to get too specific, but the community members that were out in that area specifically had a 5th grader, and that's why we included that grade. So I just wanted to clarify that's the reason why we included that grade into this grandfathering. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rees. Moving on. We do not have any public commenters on 2.05. From what I see, however, we do have colleagues in the queue. Trustee Cavazos.
Thank you, Madam President. I was just going to go ahead and second that motion. I see that Trustee Brooks is in the queue. The question, I assume? No, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and let you have, because it's your area.
Very good. We're going to all right, Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 2.05.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Brooks.
Thank you. I want to second that. And then I want to clarify, I greatly appreciate AZAC's work on this. It's just not standard practice for us to grandfather in 5th graders who are entering, they're not technically in middle school yet, so you're actually kind of the same thing that was requested of, like an 8th grader, grandfathering them into 9th grade. That is not a practice that's standard in the district because of transportation issues and because of parity. So if you do that for one student, you have to do it for all students, and then it creates quite an issue. So it's not that we don't appreciate your work or your opinion on this, it's just it creates additional challenges.
Thank you, colleagues. It looks like we have a motion by Trustee Williams, a second by Trustee Brooks. Colleagues, please go ahead and cast your vote. That motion passes 7-0. We are now moving on. Swimming, Matthew?
Matthew Tramp, AZAC Chair, I just want a point of clarification. We tabled 2.04, so that item died in so 2.05 was passed. So you passed as is, as the agenda is described. I just want a point of clarification.
That's correct. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Trustee Cavazos?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. So just to clarify, just to make sure that we have the language correct, what did we actually table that, or did we rescinded it?
We didn't take any action on
We
it,
didn't take any action,
essentially.
so it dies.
Correct.
Matthew, is that helpful? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes, we are able to move now on to item 2.06. All right, colleagues, it looks like we are ready to move on to 2.06. This is the time to submit a yellow card for our public commenters, individuals who'd like to speak on public comment have not already done so. Anybody else who would like to speak on 2.06? Looks like we have one public comment on this item. Ms. Murphy, can you please walk us through item 2.06?
President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. This is the same area, north of Kyle Canyon Road, west of US 95, and south of Moccasin Road, where new homes are assigned to Indian Springs High School. AZAC's recommendation, there are 3 students in the area, one currently attending Indian Springs. AZAC's recommendation is to allow grandfathering of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students currently enrolled within the reassigned areas with transportation provided, and to reassign newly enrolled students in the area each year from Indian Springs High School to Centennial High School. Area A on the attached map.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Looks like we do not have public comment. Allow me one moment, please. Ms. Ruiz, you're welcome to come up. You don't need a public comment card because you are part of the committee. If it's okay with Matthew to yield time. Ms. Ruiz?
Thank
Ms.
you.
Ruiz.
Lydia Ruiz for the record. I just want to make sure because I see 2.06 and then 2.07 and it kind of has the same language again. I just want to reiterate, we did look at this at the community. We talked to transportation. There is one bus route that goes to Mount Charleston. There are children that are young children that go from Mount Charleston to Indian Springs. That bus route is not an inconvenience. There are no extra bus routes. And so by grandfathering in 2.06 for 6th grade, this is not inconveniencing the school in any way. We try to be good stewards of taxpayer money and resources. And we are also trying to maintain the balance of making the community happy with that. We don't want, obviously, to waste money and resources. So I'm here to advocate for 2.06 and not 2.07. These are rural families that want to continue to go to Indian Springs. This is one bus route that goes up and does a circle and comes back down. It does not inconvenience the transportation in any way. These kids are already on the bus. There's plenty of room on that bus. And I'm here to answer any other questions if you'd like from the community.
Trustee Williams. I see Trustee Brooks and Trustee Williams in the queue. I'm going to go with Trustee Brooks.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that this is the same setup as last time. This is the AZAC recommendation, and the reasons that you have not accepted the recommendation is because of it is not standard practice for AZAC, and you don't want to set a precedence, and also you would legally have to provide transportation. But I'll let you chime in and tell me if that is correct.
No, I understand.
Sorry, I'm talking to staff right now.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
No problem.
Ms. Murphy.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Brooks, Superintendent Jara. So item 2.06 stands on its own because item 2.06 is regarding Indian Springs and Centennial High Schools. So this area specifically would recommend reassigning this particular area in Area A from Indian Springs to Centennial High School. 2.07 and 2.08 are regarding Arborview and Centennial. There is not a staff recommendation on 2.06 at this point in time. Yes, it is a unique recommendation, as AZAC's recommendation. As staff, we did not put forward a staff recommendation on this because of the uniqueness of the situation, which we understand.
Okay, so what you're saying is you have accepted AZAC's recommendation, which is not traditional practice because of the very uniqueness of this specific situation.
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Brooks, yes. In this situation, we looked at whether this was is considered from the district. It's an elementary, middle, and high school. But in this situation, at Indian Springs, it could also be considered, with the rural nature of it, an elementary and a secondary school.
Thank you. And then does that answer, forgot your last name, was it Ruiz?
Ruiz, yes.
Ruiz. Does that clarify this item?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Williams?
No, that was what I was going to point out, because I think that in regards to the podium speaker at the time, it just, this is definitely not normal for us to do, but if the staff is okay with the AZAC's recommendation, then I am going to make a motion to approve item 2.06 as 2.07 and 2.08 are of different schools, still in my district, but are standalone items. So my motion is to make a motion to approve item 2.06.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Brooks?
Thank you, Madam President. I will second the motion.
Thank you, colleagues. We have a motion by Trustee Williams and a second by Trustee Brooks. Please cast your vote. Thank you, colleagues. That motion passes 7-0. Okay. Before I move on to item 2.07, I'd like to invite anyone who has not had a moment to submit their yellow cards to please do so now. No, 7 yellow cards. We have 1 public comment on this item. Before we hear from public comment, I'd like to have Ms. Murphy to walk us through this item.
President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara, this is, again, a high growth area. This area in particular, Area B on the attached map, is a little different area. It's due to the anticipated enrollment and active residential development in the area. It's necessary to provide enrollment relief to Arborview High School, utilizing seats at Centennial High School, which will provide some enrollment relief to Arborview High School. Arborview is at a capacity of 130.09%, Centennial at 114.32%. AZAC's recommendation is to allow grandfathering of 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students currently enrolled within the reassigned areas without transportation and to reassign incoming 9th grade students each year and newly enrolled students to the area as described from Arborview High School to Centennial High School, beginning with grade 9. This is 202 students, and that is 2.07. And there is a staff recommendation also.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Trustee Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm trying to decide, I guess maybe, can I not read? I don't know. 2.07 and 2.08. 2.07 is the AZAC's recommendation, 2.08 is the staff recommendation, correct? They read the exact same. Am I missing something? Is it one is with transportation, one's without?
President Garcia Morales, Trustee Williams, yes.
Okay.
2.07 is without transportation. But because of the point of clarification that with grandfathering, the school district provides transportation, the staff provided 2.08, which just confirms the transportation.
So I understand, right? Explain it to me like I'm her age, right? You guys agree with AZAC's recommendation, except for the simple fact that, like, you, as the staff, you require transportation to be involved in your recommendation.
Yes.
Understood. Okay.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. We do have 1 public comment on this item. Alex McGurk? Oh.
Good evening. My name's Alex McGurk. First, I want to say I'm kind of disappointed that we have an AZAC committee and you don't really take their recommendations. The last couple items, it seems like they recommended something and you guys just went a different way. But anyways, with that being said, I think that item 2.07, the difference is transportation, and 2.08 provides transportation. I believe that those high school students that are currently zoned for Arborview should be getting transportation. They're currently taking transportation. There's a bus that comes up there and takes them to Arborview. We're not adding buses, adding transportation. They are already taking that transportation to Arborview. So I think to take it away causes confusion now. Now parents are trying to get places to take them. Some of their kids are zoned for still ESCO, and then they're driving to Arborview with high school students. I think if we're already providing them transportation, I don't know why transportation needs to be taken away, especially because there's not that many of them that are going to be rezoned. I think the ones that are grandfathered in should have the ability to have transportation, and then anybody else that's rezoned after that and goes to Centennial, then they, have the zoning for there. So I personally, as a resident of Providence and with a son that goes to Arborview, thinks that transportation should be something that is provided, and there's two options given. And I think that item 2.08 is what is best for the children and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Matthew?
Madam Chair, my fellow AZAC member has one more comment to say before you guys take a vote, with your permission.
Absolutely. Ms. Reese?
For the record, I just want to reiterate, we're just trying to obviously, again, be good stewards of the community. That area is, so Arborview is obviously, you saw the numbers, they're overpopulated. My son goes to Arborview. They can't even eat school lunch because there's so many students in line. The crowds, it's too crowded. The classrooms are overcrowded. I mean, they have 24 portables. It's a lot, and they don't have any physical space to grow. So this, for both of these items, we do need some relief in Arborview, and so that's why we selected a very small, the dotted area, community right by the bottom of that border, to be going to now Centennial, those 202 students. I'm not disagreeing with staff, but we did decide to do without transportation. But if that's how things are done and the president's is already there, then transportation should be done. I don't think that we didn't speak to transportation too much on that portion, so I'm not sure about the numbers as far as the bus routes for those students and how many students take that bus route.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. To be clear, item 2.07 is the AZAC committee's recommendation without transportation. To be clear, Ms. Murphy, we have a legal obligation to provide transportation to students. Can you please help clarify that for me?
President Garcia Morales, that is what the clarification transportation provided to us, that with grandfathering students are provided transportation.
Thank you very much. I don't see a motion at this time, colleagues, so we're going to move on to item 2.08. We do have one comment on item 2.08. However, if there are anyone else who has not had a chance to complete a public yellow card, a public comment card, please do so now. I'm going to move on to item 2.08. Ms. Murphy, can you walk us through that, please?
President Garcia Morales, Trustees, Superintendent Jara. The staff recommendation, as previously noted, is to provide transportation to the students rezoned from Arborview High School to Centennial High School. And the recommendation states currently enrolled students in 9th, 10th, and 11th grades within the reassigned area to be grandfathered to Arborview High School for the duration of their high school career with transportation, and to reassign incoming 9th grade students and newly enrolled students to the area each year, beginning with grade 9.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Don't see any. Trustee Williams?
I was just going to make a motion. Do you have to take public comment first?
Yes, it's a great idea. Thank you. Mr. Kevin Dennison?
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you guys all for your hard work. One of the major problems I have, we bought our house on that side of Elkhorn, so our kids will be zoned for Arborview. Our daughter's in 8th grade. Our son is currently in 10th. So by separating the two, I would have gone through COSA, but January 10th was the cutoff date for COSA. And we're now at February, almost the end of February, looking at March. So we won't get approved until late August for our daughter. That's a problem. I understand you guys are doing the best you can. By holding this meeting this late, we don't have the proper opportunity to get the COSA approved ahead of time. Also, it's one block. And I understand it's 220 students, but now you're alleviating the problem at Arborview and making the problem at Centennial. Centennial doesn't have the anything in place already, like Arbor already does. They've already been dealing with those students. So, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey, colleagues, at this time I'm seeking, Trustee Williams, you had entered the queue earlier.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to approve motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 2.08.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Guzman?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman. Colleagues, we have a motion by Trustee Williams, a second by Trustee Guzman. Please cast your vote. That motion passes 7-0. Before I continue item 3 and 3.10, I'd like to thank the AZAC committee on behalf of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for your work, your commitment to our students, and this work is really difficult, especially with overcrowding that currently exists in some of these spaces. I know some of these decisions are very, very challenging. Thank you for your continued support and continued focus on policy and our existing practices so that we continue to be equitable in all areas. Appreciate your work. Item 3.01, moving on to the next upcoming Board of Trustee meetings. The next meeting of the Board of Trustees is Wednesday, March 1st at 4 p.m. in the boardroom at here in the Greer Education Center. Moving on to item 4.01, public comment on items not listed as action items on the agenda. Currently, this is a chance, if you have not had a chance to complete a yellow card, please do so now. Any other yellow cards? We have one. Ms. Binder? Welcome.
Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Jara, Anna Binder for the record. I want to cry right now. We have a lot of work to do next year. And I really, really hope that, this is a lot of work. And when we're meeting with the communities and we're putting in hours of work, trying to keep a balance and keep people happy, and we are directed by staff in particular ways, and we move forward based on representations and conversations, lots of conversations. Thwarted from having a larger conversation on how to even better accommodate our community. Obviously we know with almost 300,000 students, right? We're never going to make everyone happy, even though we all do our best work to keep everybody happy. But my heart, as I go home tonight, is just in the gutter over what happened here. So.
I don't have any other public speaker cards. Trustees, at this time, I'm seeking a motion for adjournment. Trustee Guzman?
Thank you, President Garcia Morales. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman. Trustee Williams?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Colleagues, we have a motion by Trustee Guzman and a second by Trustee Williams. Please cast your vote. Okay, that That item passes 7-0. The time is 5:56 PM. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.